not say outdated, but it's a quite old software, and no doubt it has its own place in the market. But the problem with this type of software is, as sir already told you, that you need to buy a license for it, right? It's not freely available. Okay. Now we got into this thing. We learned about KRITA from, definitely we saw it for the first time when we were looking for some kind of replacement for Photoshop, and we found it that it's a wonderful software. And
Sir, you are on mute.
Mr. Abhay, kindly unmute. Your microphone has got muted.
okay, now audible.
Yep.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Okay, so already sir has given a little bit of introduction about KRITA. So I'll just quickly give you a glimpse of what KRITA actually is, why we are here to learn KRITA. Now, when I started off my career, the only name I heard, the software I heard about, especially when it comes to photo editing, the name is Photoshop, right? We all have been using Photoshop, and we are quite familiar with it also. But the problem with Photoshop is that it's not free. It's not freely available. You need to buy a license to use it, right? And especially when it comes to schools, and when especially you have to teach the software to the students, buying license and updating it again and again becomes quite difficult. So we came across this software KRITA, and the good thing about KRITA is it has all the features of Photoshop, right? It is as powerful as Photoshop is, and above of all, it is free. That's the best thing, right? So let's start with it. Let's start with the introduction, right, of what KRITA actually is. Now, I'll just give a brief introduction because I don't want to go into a lot of theory, as we already know that KRITA is all about uh, photo editing and many more things. So we'll move on to that very quickly. But before we move on to the practicals, let's have a quick understanding of what KRITA is. Now, it's free. It's already written by people who are artists. That's the good thing. This is what I loved about KRITA. It's not like that only few software developers have developed it. People who are really into art and understand art well are the ones who have created or built this software. They are somehow computer engineers also. They are artists also. They are painters also. So all of them got together and created this software called KRITA. Now, for what all purpose it is used? Concept art, it's used in concept art. It's used in texture and matte painters. Now, what are matte painters? Let's have a quick understanding of it. You must have seen great visuals in various animation movies, right? I hope everybody, almost everyone has seen some of good animation movies, and you must have seen how the background, sometimes the backgrounds are very great, right? The landscape they show is very great and wonderful. So that's called matte, right? So these kind of backdrops and these kind of landscapes also you can draw in KRITA. And then of course we can use it for illustrations and comics. So if I explain this to you in very simple terms, that it means that KRITA is used basically for drawing also, right? KRITA is used for photo editing also, and KRITA is also used for creating animations. So that means we can do three different things using KRITA, right? Now, let's have a quick understanding of the advantages. The first is very easy to use interface, right? If you have used Photoshop and all, it looks a bit complex with lots and lots of command. On the other hand, KRITA's interface is very clean. I'll show it to you. Then we have a customized layout, right? You can interact with the layout you can change the layout according to your own needs. So if you want to move a panel anywhere, you can move that. You want to move the toolbox, you can move it, right? You can change the theme of the KRITA interface, right? Then we have many wonderful brushes. Here, I don't think so there is any need to tell you what is the utility of brushes in a photo editing or painting software. You already know that, right? और कुछ नहीं तो हम सब ने पेंट ब्रश तो जरूर यूज किया हुआ है और उसमें ब्रश तो यूज किए. So it has many different brushes. We'll look into that also. Brush stabilizer is a very important feature in KRITA. Now, especially for a beginner who is a beginner and is drawing a painting on the KRITA software for the very first time, sometimes we get shaky, right? थोड़े हाथ हमारे कांपने लग जाते. It happens because if you have not practiced enough, beginners may this happens. So there is a feature called brush stabilizer, right? And even if you are a first timer, right, you are drawing anything for the first time on the canvas, KRITA will by its own, right, stabilize the strokes, brush strokes. That's a wonderful feature in KRITA. And then you have different vector graphics. Already there's a library of built-in vector graphics that we'll look afterwards into it. And then finally, it's
Sir, you are not audible.
Sir, you are muted.
not from my side.
I got the reason since it is achieving the highest number of the 250 are the availability and we are almost 230
Okay.
plus, so that's how the system mutes. But I'll make sure I will not be able to accept any more participants now, so this should not happen now.
Okay, so from where should I continue now again? From the features, back to the features, or?
Sir, we
We can
have
look at that.
listened all the features. You just start from brush stabilization after that.
Okay, thank you very much. So now these are the features. So vector graphics are already available. Inbuilt library is there, and I don't think so there is any need to explain what open source software is. All I can say that right now it's freely available. Okay, so KRITA is also free. Now the last and the best thing about KRITA is it is available for different operating systems, that too free of cost. You can use it for Windows, you can use it for Linux, you can use it for Mac also. So that's all about the features and what KRITA is. I know all of you are very much excited to learn about this software. So directly let's move on to KRITA now, right? Okay, so I'll just open KRITA for you.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, now this is the interface. Now, I don't think so there is any need to make you understand how to open KRITA. We are all computer literates, experienced, right? You know how to open an app. So if you have installed KRITA and if you click on the KRITA icon, then this is what you will get. This is the interface of KRITA. Now you might feel, okay, what is so different about this, right? आप में से बहुत लोगों ने हो सकता है कुछ लोगों ने थोड़ा बहुत you must have used Photoshop also and any other photo editing software also. So it might look similar to you, isn't it? But मैं आपको बताता हूँ differences क्या हैं. So very quickly, let's start with how we can open a new file, because this is the first thing you need to do. No matter which application software you are using, the first thing you need to do is you need to create a new file, right? Now there is no need to tell you what a file is actually. So we'll be starting off with how to open a new file. Now there are different ways of opening new file, creating a new file in KRITA. Start with, we already know that file and new, right? That's very simple. Or you can go to the toolbar and you can click on create new document, or you have this, okay, shortcut here, or you can press control and 4 हो गए जी, right? this is how, so if I click on this, this is what I will get. Now I'll get this create new document dialog box. Now this contains basically all the information, predefined information about a file that you can directly use. इसमें ज़्यादा आपको change करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. आपको सिर्फ तब change करना पड़ेगा when you want to change the width or height. Let's say you want to create a thumbnail, small thumbnail for your website or maybe your YouTube channel. And then in that case, you can change these values. The tab which is important is the content tab, right? So here you can, what you can do is you can give name to your file if you want to save it with the name, right? There are other ways also. I'm not saying you cannot save it from file savers, but if you want to do it in the beginning, you can do that. Layers
Excuse
will,
me.
yeah, yes, ma'am.
So there is one teacher, Monica Gaila, in the room right now. Please join her.
I would request Gurpreet sir.
Yeah, she has requested. Please make her join.
Layers we'll discuss afterwards, but now the important thing is this is important for you. So you can give a background color to your file. Let's say you want to give a background color, and this is the color preset for KRITA. Look how different it is, right? You have a dialer also. You have a dialer, this dialer, right? Can be used for selecting different colors. Okay. Here also you have, so not many colors are there in KRITA. So you can select any one of these for the background color. Let's say this one. Okay, now this all is done. So just click on create and you will get a new file. Right? But आपको यही लगा होगा what's a big deal about this? It's already there in different softwares. I mean paintbrush में भी तो ये हो जाता है. मैं आपको एक feature जरूर दिखाना चाहूँगा. Let's move on to the home screen. Now let's open a picture, right, in KRITA. So I have this folder here with some pictures. Let's say I want to work on this picture. Yeah, this picture. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Just select the picture and drag it and drop it here. You can read here, it's written drag image, window will open. So just leave it, drop it here, and just wait. Done. So easy, isn't it? And effective also. So there is no need to go to file and open and all that. Just simply open the folder that contains pictures, and from there what you can do is take a picture, drag and drop it here, so the picture will open. So easy. Okay. Now let's move on to the next point. Let's talk about the toolbar now. Toolbar, very simple. We already know what is the use of a toolbar. I don't think so. Again, there is any need to tell you. But the point is, we can resize this by just right-clicking on it. Right-click on the toolbar, and you'll see number of different sizes that are available for this toolbar. So you can simply select any one of these and see here. The size of the toolbar will change, right?
Sir, can you please repeat it once again?
Yeah, sure. One second. So just right click on the toolbar, right click, and select any of these different sizes that are available. You can scroll down to see more and more tools. If in case you have increased the size of the toolbar, or if you are not satisfied, you want to move back to the original one, then you can right click again on the toolbar and click on default. So there are many tools here, right? We'll be using all these tools, right? But this is to make you understand that how you can customize KRITA toolbar. And you have this also. You can increase the width also in case you are not comfortable. कि आपको ऐसे नहीं देखना है length में, you want to see width wise, so you can just drag it here and you can see the size. Okay. So quite easy. Okay, now let's quickly deal with two of the tools that are very useful and are almost required every time you work or draw anything or edit a picture. Quite common although, but let's see how they work in KRITA. And so we have this zoom tool. I hope it's visible. If you want me to increase the size, I can do that for you. Okay, 14, nahin leke. Let's take. Okay, here. So you can zoom in. Otherwise, if you are not comfortable with this, you can see here on the right bottom. The zoom is available here also. This is a slider that can be used. Okay, so अगर आपको लगता है आप उससे कंफर्टेबल नहीं है, आपको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, ज़्यादा बेनिफिशियल नहीं लग रहा है, so you can use this also. The slider, zoom slider, is available on the bottom right of the KRITA. I hope it's visible to everyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Then we have pan tool. Now, hota kya hai, when you are drawing something, you would like to move the canvas. So, aap is pe jaiye, just click on it, keep the mouse button pressed, and now you can move it anywhere you want. You can place it anywhere you want on the screen. You can see, I can drop it here, and I can start drawing here. Let's say if I have two images here, or two canvas, I want to work on them simultaneously, so I can move any one of these, right? So this is called pan tool, very simple. So now, just now we discussed about the zoom tool. I don't think so there is any need to tell you what the benefit of zoom tool is, but in case if you are not sure, I can tell you that if you want to zoom on a particular object that you have drawn on the canvas, then in that case you can use the zoom tool.
It means we can use two canvas together on this particular screen, right?
Yeah, we can have two images or two canvas right on the same screen. Okay. Now let's move on to the next very important thing again. That's brush, because painting without brush is amazing.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. I have used the zoom out option. Zoom in option. How to use zoom out? As my canvas has enlarged a lot, I want to squeeze it back.
Yeah, you can use the mouse scroll wheel. Scroll wheel use कीजिए, scroll wheel से हो जाए. ये देखिए हो रहा है, right? Or you can use the slider also.
Sorry to interrupt, but sir, can you please show us how we can insert another canvas over here?
We'll come to it. Right? We'll come to it. So we have zoom and we have the pan tool here. Right? Now, brush is because there are many tools we have to cover, right? So we have this brush tool. You can see here, freehand brush tool. Okay. Very simple. But again,
How to insert another canvas?
Can we please see? It's very simple. Again, what you have to do is go to File, New, and that's it. So simultaneously, you will have two files there. See this. You can see.
Can you please once explain how I can reset my zoom out?
Ma'am, you have the slider here.
Okay, fine.
You can move like this. This will zoom out and this will zoom in. Right?
Okay, fine.
Otherwise, you can use the mouse scroll wheel also. Now we have two different tabs. So these two different tabs have two different canvas here. Right? Yeah. So now I'm closing one of these.
Sir, can
So
you
just
please
click file.
once again tell me how you have drag and drop the picture from the folder?
See, for this you are on the home screen, right? And then what we have to do is just open the folder which contains images, drag a picture and drop it here. Now it takes time, usually depends on the speed of your system. This way you can. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Intel.
Right. So let's move on to the brushes now. So click on the brush tool, freehand brush tool, and you will see, okay, sir, ये तो बहुत कुछ है, ये तो we have already seen this in paintbrush. It's available there also. What's a big deal? The deal is that you can click on this button over here, choose brush preset, and when you click on it, you'll see lots and lots of brushes available that are available under KRITA. Different type of brushes are available. So you can select any one of these depending on what you are drawing, right? And just select the color from the color preset here. Okay. आप चाहे डायलर से सिलेक्ट कर लीजिए, चाहे ट्रायंगल से, या फिर आप इसे भी चूज कर सकते हैं. It's your choice. You can see the preview of the color here, and then you can click on, after selecting the color, click on OK, and then you can use the brush to draw anything you want to draw. The point is, क्या मेरे brush का size इतना ही रहेगा? No. See this. The size is available here. You can click on this. You can see this bar moving. Now, as it moves forward, the size of the brush will increase. So if you want to reduce the size of the brush, click on this. So it will be reduced. Right? So there are many different brushes out there. You can select any one of these brushes. Again, it all depends on your need, requirement. And then of course you need to practice it also, because without practicing it won't be possible. You have the eraser tool also, just like we have it in the paintbrush. I'll show you again. Just click on choose brush preset on the toolbar. The first one is the eraser itself. You'll get the preview also. You get the preview of each and every brush. I hope it's visible. Preview is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just click on it. Click outside anywhere. You can increase the size of the eraser from here, and then you can use it for erasing the whatever you have drawn, right? So this way you can use different brushes. Then we have this wonderful option here, quick redo and undo. Quickly available on the toolbar, you can see. I don't think there is any way, but certainly हम देख सकते हैं इसे फटाफट यहाँ पे. So got it? This way you can increase the
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but your voice is breaking, and I believe someone mic is also on, due to which some disturbance is coming on. Please check it out.
Audible now?
Yeah, now it's better.
So this way you can increase the size or you can reduce the size of the brush. Right, so there are many different brushes to choose from the brush preset. Now undo and redo, I have already explained it to you, very simple, you can see here.
There's one tip for all of you. If you want to increase the size of the project or this demonstration, please pin the tab. You click on your screen and pin this tab so that it is fit to your screen. It gets fit to your screen. You won't be able to see the participant, which is as of now not necessary for all of you. So better you maximize the size of the presentation.
Okay. So now let's open a new file and let's move on to the new concept.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, by mistake मैंने toolbox का size जो है वो increase कर दिया है. So I can see all the icons in the enhanced mode, but I'm not able to decrease the size.
No, right click on it. कहीं पे भी toolbar पे right click कीजिए, ये menu आएगा. Default.
Done, sir. Thank you.
Okay, now let's move on to.
Sir, excuse me, sir. How to select the foreground and background? There are two colors appearing. I mean the at the top now, where you have shown that we can select the brush. Adjacent to that, we can see two boxes are there, right?
Yeah, you can use it for swapping.
How can we swap the color?
See this, click on the arrow and you can swap it.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about the gradients, because gradients are very important. How many of you have used gradients? I think you have used gradients with MS Word also and with PowerPoint also. So is there anyone who can tell me what a gradient is?
Yes, sir.
So we can combine different colors.
Yeah, definitely. So gradient has a
See,
different.
gradients is basically a combination of two or more colors in a
In various
specific
patterns.
pattern or in variations or in different modes kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, shades.
Yes. So a gradient is basically a mixture of more than one color, right? And it has some pattern also. So how we can use gradient in KRITA? Very simple. You have this gradient tool, right? Click on it, just got it, right? It was because of this brush, right? The brush was, it was not the brush, it was actually the eraser. I was using the eraser, right? Now a gradient is, it's not like that in KRITA you can only use the gradients that are defined. You can also create your own gradient. Now to create your own gradient, just click on the gradient tool, right? And click on this add button. Now you can name your gradient if you want, and then you can select different colors जो आपको gradient में चाहिए. Okay, mix these colors from here by moving the slider. Choose whether you want to use it for foreground or background. It's your choice. Okay, and now again draw it by dragging the line, and now I have my own gradient, right? In case you want to change the pattern of the gradient, you can click here, and these are the different patterns that are available. Okay, and you can draw a gradient using this pattern. ये grayscale में better है, but this is how you can do it. Right, it has changed a bit. Okay, so this is how you can create your own gradient so easily and quickly with KRITA. Right, now let's quickly move on to drawing shapes, so that then we can start with our photo editing process. Shapes, you know, that's very easy and simple to draw shapes. All the shape tools are available. Just click done. Okay, let me use another brush. I think use the brush, and yeah, color and colors. So I can draw any shape I want, but इतना ही नहीं है, बहुत कुछ है. Let's say I want to move this shape.
कृष्णा ये बंद करना, फैन बंद कर.
I have this tool here called the move tool. Okay, select this and then drag it anywhere you want. Drag and drop, and it will be placed. Again, drag and drop. So used for moving objects on the screen. Then another wonderful tool in KRITA is transform a layer or selection tool. Just before this move tool, we have this tool here. Okay, with practice, you will get familiar with all these tools. Practice is important. So transform a layer or a selection. Select this. Now you can see these dots here. Now with these dots, what you can do is, you can either increase the size, reduce the size, or if you want to rotate it, you can rotate it also. ठीक है जी? So transform a layer, right, tool, selection tool is there for you.
The perspective can also be changed.
Yes.
Using the transform tool.
Yeah. You can move it also anywhere, but the point is, let's say I'm drawing one more this thing, shape here. Let's see how the move tool works on these two shapes. If I drag them, you can see that both of them are moving together, but I don't want it to be like this, right? It's not a good idea, because I might want, if I'm working on the rectangle, then only the rectangle should move, and not, in that case, the circle should not be affected, right? Similarly, if I use transform tool, and if I try to change the let's say size of the rectangle, it is also changing the size of the circle. Now, why this is happening? Now this is where the concept of layers come in, especially the concept of layers is very useful in photo editing softwares. Now what is a layer? See, basically a layer is that on a canvas, all the objects, different objects, maybe you are drawing a landscape and you have some mountains and you have some fields and a river, you have drawn many things, people walking around. So all these different objects, right, will have a separate layer. So when all the objects, let's say this rectangle and circle, all of them have a separate layer, then what you can do is you can individually edit them or change them. But if they have a common layer, जैसे इस केस में हो रहा है, this is a common layer, तो अगर if I'm trying to change one object, the other object is also changed. So now let's quickly learn how we can use layers in KRITA. I'll just close it. I'll create a new file again, simple. And now let's create a layer. Now from where you can create a layer, we have a, you can see here this, on the right hand side you have this panel here, layers, right? It will show you the default layer, that is the background layer, and we also have a default paint layer. So now let's quickly add one layer here. The layer is added, you can see in the list. Double click on it and change its name, renaming it to REC, rectangle. Now let's draw a rectangle on this layer. Done. So the rectangle is ready now. Now I want to draw a circle also. So to draw a circle with a layer, again add one more layer. Double click and write CIR. Okay, done. So I have REC layer and CIR. REC for rectangle and CIR. So I'll click on this and I'll CIR layer and draw a circle. Now let's see. Let's say I want to rotate my rectangle. So what you have to do is select the rectangle layer, choose the transform tool, and see now only the rectangle is selected, and now I can simply rotate. Now as you can see, now as I'm rotating this, the circle is not getting affected. Now if I want to make some change in the circle, click on the circle, right? Let's say again I want to move it somewhere else, so I'm just moving it on the screen, and as you can see I'm moving it, so it is not causing any effect on the rectangle. So this
that
way,
means you're trying to say in one layer, if we add more than one object, they automatically group.
yeah.
So we have to
Here
work on
you can see,
separate layers. Okay.
yes, if you have different objects and you want to work on those objects separately, right, one by one, then you need to have different layers for each one of them, right? Because this is the best way of doing things. इसमें confusion कम होता है और काम जल्दी होता है. So it's better to have a different layer for each individual object. You can have as many as layers you want, and there are these options. You can lock a particular object layer, so if it is locked you cannot work on it, right? So unlock. There are many options. You can also hide it and unhide it, right? With this you can simply right click and you can remove a layer. If you do not wish to work on it, or if you want to delete it, you can do that also. So this is all about layers, working with layers in KRITA. Okay. Now we can also fill these objects with different colors. I told you can have the colors from the preset, and you can fill these. So okay, I didn't select this. See, mistake over here because of it. So you can have it. Now what if I want to fill them with a gradient? Let's try to fill the circle with a gradient. Okay. See? So मैं यहाँ पे आया gradient किया, कुछ नहीं हुआ. सारा gradient fill हो गया. Why is it? Because gradient के case में you need to first define. Let me first work on this rectangle. Define कि आपका gradient कितने area में fill होगा. So just select this area. Now use the gradient tool and let's fill it. Got it? अगर आप select नहीं करोगे तो gradient will occupy the whole canvas. Right? Now it's done. If you want, I can clean draw it for you. Just use this tool. It's called the rectangular selection tool. Select the rectangle or whichever object you want the gradient to be applied. Select the appropriate gradient, whichever gradient you want. Select the gradient tool and just drag. Now, dotted line area, it's getting quite irritating. And what you can do to remove this, I got disconnected.
Yeah, welcome back, sir.
Just hold on, I'll share my screen again.
Thanks.
Visible?
Yes, it's coming now.
So now we have almost discussed all the tools that are useful as far as drawing in KRITA is concerned. Definitely you need to explore them, right? One more thing I would like to share with you is good thing about KRITA is KRITA stores a history of everything that you are doing, especially when it comes to selecting different brushes. Now, if you look at this panel here on the right hand side at the bottom, you'll see this brush preset history. I hope it's visible to everyone. Now, you can see a list of brushes that we have used. So if you want to move to any, or if you just want to view the history of a brush, by history means what kind of brush it was and what size we had used. So you'll get all this from here, right? So very simple, although there is you can see if I click on this Bristol for glaze, you'll see the size has changed here. So when we were using this brush, we were using this size, right? So eraser, when we used the eraser, this was the standard size we used. So it stores the history of all the brushes. That's a good thing about KRITA. Now moving forward, let's start with some photo editing, right? Now to start with photo editing, the first thing you need a picture to work with. I already told you how you can add a picture to the KRITA project, right? Now let me just open this picture for you. Yeah, you have this picture. Now let's start with photo editing. The most common tool, and we have already used it many a times. We also use it with mobile phones also nowadays. But still, it is important that I should tell you how it works in KRITA and where it is located, especially. Now, in the toolbox, you can see this tool here, crop tool. Click on it, select the area you want to crop, and you can see the good thing about this is, again, it will only highlight the area you want to crop. Now either you can right click or just double click. So this will be cropped. Now you can save it separately. You can save it separately, right? But it's not all about this. Let's move on to our next tool. A wonderful tool, I would say. क्योंकि ये तो crop तो सबने use किया है, so there is nothing, I don't think so, anything amazing in that. Crop सबने use किया. So the next tool I would like to show to you is the color preset tool, Smart Patch tool. We'll be using the Smart Patch tool. So to use this, first of all, we need to zoom into the picture. Select, not select, just zoom in कि आपका वो object दिख जाए जिस पे आप काम करना चाहते हैं. I use the Smart Patch tool. You can increase the size from here of the tool और छोटा कर लेते हैं. And now start drawing. select the object on which you want to apply the smart patch tool. We are, you need to be very careful with it, right? I hope it's visible to everyone what I am doing actually. Yeah. Done?
Yes.
Yeah. Keep the mouse button pressed. Once done, leave it and wait. Now it will render the image again. It usually takes time, let me tell you, it takes time.
And this man would go.
Yeah. Whatever object you will select.
That will go and merge with the background, right?
Usually it takes time because it renders the image again. You can see.
So, which tool it is? Can you just name the tool?
Yeah, it's Smart Patch Tool.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. So if let's say I want to remove this pillar over here, done, gone. Same way, this pillar over here, done, gone. The fill tower bhi aap hata sakte hain, but it takes time usually, right? So this is a very interesting tool here. It's called the Smart Patch Tool. मैंने undo किया है अभी, so don't worry. It's not like कि वो वापस आ गया. Just मैंने undo किया. Another very interesting tool here is called the clone tool. Cloning, we all know what cloning is. यहाँ बताने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी कि cloning क्या है. But clone tool आपको यहाँ नहीं मिलेगा कभी भी. You won't find it here in the toolbox. The clone tool in KRITA is available as a brush. So you need to click on this brush and then simply click on this. Can you see the clone tool here? N बनाया है यहाँ पे, N है. I hope it's, yeah.
Yes.
You click on this.
It's visible.
आप देखोगे यहाँ पे, press Control and click on the tool you want to clone, your object you want to clone. Now, oh sorry, अभी मैंने, wait, just wait. Brush select नहीं हुआ था, I'm sorry. We should have used the brush tool first, and then now this tool called the clone tool. अब ये जहाँ पे आपको एरो दिख रहा है, क्रॉस दिख रहा है, ये ले जाइए जिस ऑब्जेक्ट को आप ड्रॉ करना चाहते हैं, क्लोन करना चाहते हैं. Just press Control key and click on it, and आप देखोगे ये यहाँ पे चला गया क्रॉस. Now start drawing very carefully. Very
Sir,
carefully.
it means sir कि we just need to select that particular object, चाहे वो कितना बड़ा हो उससे कोई मतलब नहीं होता, right?
नहीं, उससे कोई मतलब नहीं. जितना मर्जी बड़ा हो, that doesn't matter. All you
Excuse
have
me,
to
sir.
do.
Please explain one more time.
Yeah, sure. Just let me just finish off with this. So you can see अभी मैंने थोड़ा सा ही ड्रॉ किया, थोड़ा और ध्यान से करता तो और बेटर आ जाता है. With practice you can learn it. Okay, I'll repeat it again for you. देखिए मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया कि actually this tool is not available in the toolbar, right? So you have to click the freehand brush tool first, and from the brush preset, ये आ गए आपके brushes. इसमें से you need to select this N, tone tool. Tone tool आ जाएगा, कुछ ऐसे होंगे दो. There will be two circles, one with the cross and one blank. जो सर्कल क्रॉस है उसको आपने उस ऑब्जेक्ट पे ले जाना है जो आप ड्रॉ करना चाहते हो, क्लोन करना चाहते हो. नाउ प्रेस द कंट्रोल की एंड क्लिक ऑन इट. इट्स लाइक कि आपने अपना टारगेट सिलेक्ट कर लिया है. डन. अब ये क्रॉस आप वहां ले जाइए जहां आपको क्लोन करना है, ड्रॉ करना है, क्लोन ड्रॉ करना है. नाउ मूव आप करेंगे जो ब्लैक सर्कल है उसको, और यहाँ ये क्रॉस वाला उसको क्लोन ड्रॉ कर देगा. I hope it's visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Now see this. Done. So we have a clone. right? So this way you can clone anything, any object, any number of times you want, आप उसे clone कर सकते हैं. Another tool, important tool is you can again go to the brush and from the brush preset you can select. There are many tools. You have this called distort grow. तो अगर आपको कोई लगता है बहुत पतला है तो you can just थोड़ा उनको आप ब्रॉड बना सकते हैं. कई लोग बोलते हैं अरे मैं देखने में बहुत पतला हूँ, तो आप उन्हें ब्रॉड बना सकते हैं. All this requires a lot of practice also, but with practice you will get it right. Okay.
Sir, can you please repeat the name of the tool which you are just using?
It's called the distort. You can see here. Yeah. Distort.
It will increase the size, is it?
Yeah, it will increase the size. It will increase the size. अगर आप इनका head भी चाहते हैं, बड़ा करना है आपको head.
So basically it zooms in one part. एक part को zoom in करके बड़ा कर रहा है.
Right. So and then we have again. You can go to the brushes and you can use this tool here. Distort move. If you want थोड़ा flexible और करना है, like let's say I want कि Eiffel Tower को कुछ ऐसा बना दें हम. Eiffel Tower को कुछ ऐसा बना दें. Design change कर दो. We can very well do it. See, आपको कुछ और ही लगेगा. I can move this also. ठीक है जी. So there are many brushes, different brushes here. And then you have this distort shrink.
Is there any tool to remove the background?
हाँ जी. Remove the background altogether.
Yeah.
We'll be discussing this tomorrow, man. We'll come to this, right? We'll be discussing all this.
Sir, which was the smart patch tool? Where is the smart patch tool, sir? Can you point it out?
This is where it is. You can see here. ये आपके gradient tool के बिल्कुल नीचे है, right? So now this is a tool जो आपका grow के opposite है. So if somebody says मुझे पतला होना है, जिनकी fat belly है, you can always do that with a picture. Remove the fat belly and it's ठीक है. आप इसे भी कर सकते हैं. So this is how you can use these tools. There are many, although KRITA has many different brushes, right? Now, let's quickly move on to the last part of today's session. That will be, I'll be adding a picture in the backdrop, how we can add different pictures in a background. So just take a background image. मैं इसके लिए ये ले लेता हूँ background. Okay, it shows that it already exists, but okay, fine, no problem. No, I don't want this actually. I'll choose another one. I wanted this. No. So now let's say I want to insert some objects into it, right? ये मेरी एक background image है and I want to have two objects, different objects in it. So how we can do it, and it can be done very quickly in KRITA. The wonderful thing is this: आप उन objects की images ले आइए. I'll take Pokemon here. PNG file ले लीजिए. PNG file you can easily download from net, freely available. Just drag and drop it in this picture, on this picture, and automatically this pop-up will come. Now in this you need to select the first one, insert as new layer, right? Remember this, insert as new layer. And you can see the Pokemon is there. But इसको resize करना है तो again you have the transform layer tool. Select कीजिए इसको and then of course we can reduce the size. No, sorry. Just hold on, I have to redo it. गलती से मुझसे press हो गया. Anyways, no problem. insert this. Okay, इसको आप reduce करना है, reduce कर लीजिए. Size is big, very big. अभी इसको और हम कम कर सकते हैं और इसको let's move it to some place and again we can use transform tool थोड़ी और इसकी better placement के लिए I'll place it here on the rocks, right? And then I can,
so when we are inserting this Pokemon, the background is automatically removed of the Pokemon.
no, it's not removed, it's there. Acha, that
There was a
Pokemon
black background.
No, that's a PNG image. PNG का background नहीं है. Oh, it's freely available on the net. You can just search it like anything, Pokemon PNG. So then you can copy it and paste it on your computer. PNGs का transparent होता है background, right? They are transparent. So वो merge कर गया. आप देख रहे हैं कितना beautifully it has merged with the background, right?
And sir, if we are not having the PNG file, then
no, then the background will come. Then you need to use separate tools. फिर आपको color merge करना पड़ेगा. Similar color match tool है यहाँ पे, वो करना पड़ेगा.
Yes, sir.
And फिर उसको हाँ.
Sir, वो
But
कल
that
बता
will take
दीजिएगा.
Excuse me, sir.
वो bot. Yes.
Yeah, the tool used for cloning, I'm not getting that brush. I'm trying to get that brush.
Ma'am, that brush is available here on the preset. This one. Select the brush tool and then this. चार boxes आपको दिख रहे हैं. Choose brush preset. इसमें this N. Clone.
Madhu ma'am, your thing was resolved or no? Madhu ma'am?
Yes, sir, is saying that is a complicated process, that if we are not using PNG file, then we cannot merge the background.
There are two more.
PNG file are really available on net. I can show you how to download it. There is nothing difficult in that. Wait, I'll just open my browser.
But as they, ma'am wants to say that there are certain cases wherein we have to do.
Okay, that I'll show it to you how it can be done. But let's finish off with this. Tomorrow we'll discuss that. Now let's say I want to add one more object, right? Very simple. Again, you need. I'll take the PNG again. Okay, drag it. Insert as new layer. So we have this dragon here, and transform. Again, same. आप इसे pick कीजिए, and with the move tool you can take it anywhere you want. Okay. That's it. Now you can see how simple it is. तो आपने दो images. आप इसको भी layer में ले सकते हैं. मैंने layer में नहीं लिया. It's always good to have different layers because here now मैं इसकी opacity यहाँ पे कम कर सकता हूँ. और already it has created two layers when I inserted this. Sorry, I forgot कि उसमें वो option देता है ऊपर अगर आप insert as new layer. Right.
So this can also be used for inserting
already the new
logos
layers are there
on the pictures.
So ये मैंने क्या
Sir, again your voice is breaking.
क्या मैं बता दूं आपको. Opacity मैंने बढ़ा दी है और अगर मैं इसको और थोड़ा लाइटर करना चाहता हूँ मैं इसको decrease करूँगा इसमें आप yeah logo. So audible now? Audible to everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible now.
So that's it from my side now. We have discussed all the tools that I wanted to discuss today in today's session, and we'll be definitely discussing about many more tools in KRITA, right? So we started off with, I told you that KRITA is a wonderful software, as you can see, very easy to use, freely available. You can download it freely, and it's used for drawing also, it's used for photo editing also, and it's also used for animation. So tomorrow we'll be discussing more and more photo editing tools. That's it from my side.